Hi and welcome to Rationalise the Denominator. Just before we start, a reminder that there is a notes jotter available for this video. Check the description below for a download link and you can work along with me as we go through the video. Okay, so to begin with, we just need to look at what we actually mean by rationalising the denominator. If we have a look at each of these fractions currently, the denominator is a surd. Now that means that the bottom number, the denominator, is currently an irrational number. So what we want to do is we want to do something to this fraction which makes the bottom number no longer an irrational number. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to find an equivalent fraction. And we're going to find an equivalent fraction by multiplying by something on the bottom. So at the bottom I need to multiply root 2 by something in order to make a whole number, or something which is rational. Now the way to do that, the easiest way, is actually to multiply it by itself, because one of the rules of surds is that root a times root a equals a. And so we're just using that rule to say, well, if I do root 2 times root 2, then the bottom of my fraction will automatically become 2. But what I need to make sure is that I'm not actually altering the fraction that I began with. And the only way to not alter a fraction that I began with is to multiply by 1. And 1 would be by multiplying by root 2 over root 2. And so then at the top of our fraction, we need to do 3 times root 2. And so we get 3 root 2. And so 3 over root 2 is the same as 3 root 2 over 2. It doesn't look that much nicer, but it is now a rational denominator because the number at the bottom is no longer an irrational number. So let's try it again with 7 over root 5. Well, how would I get rid of the root 5 on the bottom? Well, I would multiply it by itself. I would multiply by root 5 and it would give me an answer of 5 on the bottom. But I need to make sure that I'm multiplying by the same on the top and the bottom of my fraction in order to not actually change the value. And so 7 times root 5 is 7 root 5. And then finally I have 9 over root 3. Well, how can I rationalise the denominator there? Well, I'm going to multiply it by root 3 on the bottom. That would give me 3 on the bottom of my fraction. But I'm also going to multiply by root 3 on the top. So 9 times root 3 is 9 root 3. Now if we just have a look here, this is actually a fraction we could simplify because we've got 9 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So if I divide those together, I actually get 3 root 3. And so in this case, it does look a lot nicer than when we had 9 over root 3, when we simplify it to 3 root 3. Next, we're looking at the situation where our denominator is a whole number multiplied by a surd. In this case, we have 4 root 2 at the bottom. Now, in order to rationalise the denominator again, I need to remove the surd. And so in this case, all I need to multiply again is by root 2. Because if I do 4 root 2 times root 2, then the root 2 times root 2 becomes 2. But I need to do that at the top and the bottom. And if I do that, I get 4 times root 2 times root 2. So 4 root 2 is on the bottom and 5 root 2 is on the top. But if I remember my rule about root 2 times root 2, well, that is root 2 times root 2 is 2. And so that gives me 5 root 2 over 4 times 2. And I can just call that 5 root 2 over 8. And so all I've ended up with is 5 root 2 over 8. I've rationalised the denominator. In the second question, I've got 2 over 3 root 5. So again, all I want to do is multiply that by root 5 on the bottom. That will deal with the surd and make it a rational number. So at the top of my fraction, I'm going to have 2 root 5. At the bottom, I'm going to have 3 times root 5 times root 5. Root 5 times root 5 is 5, so 3 times 5 is 15. And then finally 21 over 2 root 3. Well, in that question I need to just multiply by root 3 on the bottom and on the top, and so that gives me 21 root 3 at the top 2 times root 3 times root 3, well that is 2 times 3, it is 6. And again here, we actually have a common factor on the top and bottom. We can divide both by 3, and so that will be 7 root 3 over 2. Now before we move on to the final examples, I just want to remind you of something you'll have seen in expanding brackets. If I give you x plus 2 multiplied by x take away 2, what happens when we expand that bracket? Well, we do x times x and we get x squared. We do x times negative 2, we get take away 2x. We have positive 2 times x, which gives us positive 2x. And we have positive 2 times negative 2, it gives us negative 4. Now, if we simplify this, well, the negative 2x and the x actually cancel each other out. And so my answer is just x squared take away 4. And this is what is known as a difference of two squares. Because what we've got is a squared item here, a squared item here, and the difference between them. And this is very useful when it comes to rationalising denominators, especially when they look like this. So at the bottom of my first fraction, I have 4 plus root 2. Now the fact that I have this plus means that I can't just multiply by root 2, because if I did that, I'd have 4 times root 2 and at the bottom of my fraction, and therefore I would still have an irrational number. And so in order to deal with this as an irrational number, what I actually have to think about is the difference of two squares. And so as this one is 4 plus root 2, if I use 4 take away root 2 as the number to multiply by, when I multiply this together, I get 4 times 4 is 16. I get 4 times negative root 2, so take away 4 root 2. I get plus 4 root 2. And I get root 2 times root 2 is 2, but the negative version, it is 2. And if we look here, we've got exactly the same thing. We can cancel out the centre, and so all I've got is 16 take away 2. I have 14. I have rationalised the denominator. It is now just a denominator of 14. But we must remember that that happened at the bottom. So I multiply by 4 take away root 2, but I also need to do that at the top. And so 14 was the denominator, but I would have 5 times 4, so 20 take away 5 root 2 at the top, and at the bottom I would have 14. And so I've rationalised the denominator by using the idea of difference of two squares. So let's try that again in the next one. What would I want to multiply by in order to remove the surd in this case? Well, it has to be the 3 again, but it needs to be the negative version of what is in the second part. So that is going to be plus root 5. Now doing that means that I also multiplied the top by 3 plus root 5. And now all we need to think about is we can see that this is a difference of two squares. And so we know that the answer is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. And root 5 times root 5, which is 5, subtracted. And so that is the bottom of my fraction. The top of my fraction is just 2 times 3 plus root 5. So 6 plus 2 root 5. And then all I need to do is a last little bit of simplifying. Well, this is 6 plus 2 root 5. That is over 4. And actually here we have a common factor. We can divide everything here by 2. And so if I divide everything in this fraction by 2, I would get 3 plus root 5 all over 2. And finally, in my last question, I have 4 plus root 3 over root 3 take away 1. Now this question is here to try to trick you a little bit. Now what we've actually got here, we're rationalising the denominator. So it's only the denominator part of this where we need to think about those difference of two squares. And so the bottom of my fraction is going to have to be root 3 take away 1 multiplied by the negative version at the end, so root 3 plus 1. On the top, Well, it's going to be the expression I already had, 4 plus root 3, and it's going to be multiplied by the same thing as we multiplied the denominator, so root 3 plus 1. And then all I want to do is expand each of those out. So at the top, I've got 4 times root 3. I've got 4 times 1. I have root 3 times root 3, well that is 3, and I have root 3 times 1, so plus root 3. At the bottom, well, I know that this is a difference of 2 squares, so I can just say that it's going to be root 3 times root 3, which is 3, and negative 1 times positive 1, so take away 1. And then let's simplify everything we have here. So at the top, I have 4 root 3 plus another root 3, so I have 5 root 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. And on the bottom, 3 take away 1 is 2. And so the rationalised version of this will be 5 root 3 plus 7 over 2. And so we end with the exam question. It came from the Edexcel paper in November 2017 and it was on higher paper 1. And it's asked us to show that 6 take away root 8 over root 2 take away 1 can be written in the form of a plus b root 2, where a and b are integers. So the first thing here is we must have to rationalise the denominator, because what we've ended up with is an expression which no longer has a denominator. And so first thing I'm going to do is try to rationalise that denominator. And the way to do that, because we have a root 2 take away 1, well, I'm going to multiply that by root 2 plus 1. That is going to be at the bottom of my fraction, but that's also going to be at the top of my fraction. When I multiply those together, well, I need to think about them as being in brackets because they are expressions being multiplied together. So at the bottom of my fraction, I can say straight away that I've got root 2 times root 2, which is 2, and then I've got negative 1 times positive 1, so it's just take away 1. And then at the top, I have 6 times root 2, so 6 root 2. I have 6 times 1, which is plus 6. I have negative root 8 times root 2. Now that is negative root 16. Just using my laws of surds there, multiplying surds together, you can just write them under a single surd. And then take away root 8. Okay, so can we simplify all of this? Well, at the bottom, I can say straight away that 2 take away 1 is 1. Therefore, I no longer need the bottom of my fraction. And then I have 6 root 2 plus 6. Negative root 16, well, that is take away 4. And then take away root 8. Now, this is close to what we've been asked to give, because again, if I simplify this a little step further, I have 6 root 2 take away root 8 plus 2. And so now I have the integer part, but I haven't quite got b root 2 yet. And that just comes from the fact that I need to simplify this root 8. Root 8 I can call root 4 root 2. Root 4 is 2, and so that, when I bring it back together, is 2 root 2. And so it's saying 6 root 2 take away 2 root 2. Well, that is 4 root 2. And the plus 2 at the very end. Is that in the form that we were looking for? Well, it is, just in the other way around. And so a is the whole number, a equals 2, and b is the number in front of the root 2, it is 4. And so we have answered exactly what we wanted. Let's just give the full answer. We are told that we should get an answer in the form of a plus b root 2, and so it is 2 plus 4 root 2.